Hey, what's up guys? It's John with Uncommon Sight and we're back with another video. Today we're going to talk about color blindness. In my last video I mentioned that I was colorblind, and a few of you reached out to me asking questions about it and how I edit colors if I can't see them. Well, not everybody sees in black and white when you're colorblind like this. Though I can see all colors of the grayscale and being able to edit those, the most common question that I get hold on guys. That's better. The most common question that I get asked when I say that I'm colorblind is, "Hey John, what color is this?"
The pen is blue. The pen is blue!
So for most of my career, I just did black and white photography. I can see the grayscale, so it's easy for me to edit and work through that and get good results and not just having like a flat gray image. But within the last year, I really wanted to remove that label that I put on myself and that limitation that I put on myself. And I wanted to learn practical application of color theory and color grading and color mixing. I know color theory and I know how to work with colors. The problem is the application of not being able to see certain colors, so you don't know it's there. It's very humbling to go to my wife and say, "Hey, can you look at this and tell me where there's issues?" And almost always it's maybe there's a green cast in the skin tones that I can't see, and it's like, "Hey, they look like the Incredible Hulk, you might want to fix this." And it's like, okay, well, let me go back and like, okay, I think I can add some magenta in the tint and it'll remove some of that greenness. Or I need to go into my HSL sliders and adjust the orange, browns, and yellows. I mean, there's technically not a brown, it's just a shade of orange. But be able to adjust those to save those skin tones, because we don't want to look like the Hulk.
Hulk sad!
But we also don't want to look like Donald Trump.
You're fired.
So we got to be able to adjust those, and we got to be able to know what to do to adjust those. So just because I can't see them doesn't mean I don't know how to fix them. All right guys, so we're gonna jump into Lightroom real quick and I'm gonna show you working with a portrait. Right here, this is a finished portrait, but I'm gonna show you the before really quick. As you can see, I shot this at golden hour, so it's really, really orange. The light was hitting her just right to give her perfectly orange tone on here. So I'm gonna show you what I did to fix this image. First off, basic tab, a little bit of exposure. The big things I did was I upped the shadows a ton to save her face and her hair. And then I upped the whites to really save the whites of her eyes and her teeth. If you look at the before, they really had that orange tone laid over them. And then adjust the highlights back down so nothing's clipping. And then because I brought so much shadow detail back, I dropped the blacks a little bit to give that contrast back in her hair. The meat and potatoes of this whole thing though is right here in this color tab. This is where you're gonna do your most work for saving skin tones. And let me just turn this off. And so this is what she looks like with basic edits, not touching color at all. And she looks very yellow and orange. So the first thing I did was adjust my white balance, and that's just bring that temperature down so we still have the orange glow of golden light, but we are taking that cast off of her face to really bring her natural tone back out. And then where we jump into the color mixer. So reds you have to be very, very careful with, because if you see here, if I drop this down, her lips start to turn gray, and we don't want dead bodies here. So you got to be very careful with reds. But if we jump into oranges, if you see here, I brought my oranges down quite a bit. If I just reset that to 0, you can see that cast on her face and her hair. But I also brought my luminance up, which just lightens that orange tone just enough. And the yellows, I did a bunch of work with the yellow. If I drop this back to 0, you can see that cast of yellow over her face. And here I just kind of remove it. And it's very subtle, but it's noticeable in a final image. So these are the 3 that you work with the most on most skin tones. Yellows on oranges cause the biggest problems because they can just cast over a skin tone and it's hard to fix. So being able to adjust those and lighten them and remove a lot of that color in the face will help bring your portraits back to life and the way they're supposed to look. If you just a quick look at everything else, like my effects, I'm very just a splash of dehaze and clarity to remove some of that haziness. And then the other thing I do, if you watch my separation video, you can see here's my subject. I did 0.1 of exposure. And then if you look at my background, I dropped that down by 0.3, not 3, that'd be a lot, by 0.3, and that really just gives that separation to the background. But yeah, if I drop here and I remove the colors or the basic edits, you can see if I remove the basic edits, that's with the color fix. So her skin is still there, but her hair has no detail in it. It's just kind of there, but you throw your edits in there and you do get some of that color of her hair back and some of the details back in her hair. But I mean, that's a basic edit. That's gonna save your skin tones. That's just a way to work with skin tones. Now, every picture that you take is gonna be different. Every person's skin tone is different. The lighting's different. I mean, if I would have waited 30 more minutes for blue hour, I would be reversing my my temp into the warmer tones to remove the blue hue from her face, and I would be dropping the blues instead of that little bit of pop that I put in for the background. So, I mean, this is just a basic edit. This is how you fix some of these skin tone issues that we have when we're jumping in and looking at portraits. All right, guys, so that's just a peek into my workflow of someone who is colorblind working with skin tones. If you think that you might be colorblind or have issues with it, you can go to the website in Chroma, and they have a free colorblind test. I just want to say this video is not sponsored by them at all. It's just a website that I've used many times, and they make some cool products to help with colorblindness. But it's easy, it's free, it'll give you instant results on if you are colorblind and what kind of colorblind you are. Mostly, I just want to encourage you, if you're struggling with something as an artist or just anything in your life, if you feel like something's a weakness, something's trying to define who you are, just to push through that and to work through that. And I know it can be hard and difficult. I know this seems like it's very minor, just to have some color blindness while you're working with colors, but I've been through a lot of things in my life and a lot of things I've had to work through and grow through. And so I just challenge you to embrace some of those weaknesses or disadvantages that you feel, and embrace them and work through them and ask for help when you think you need help, as difficult as it is. And I know how difficult it can be. I want to encourage you all to keep going and to keep trying and to keep pushing, and just to make yourself better and to make yourself reach that next level of whatever it is that you're working through and whatever it is that you're trying to do. You guys got this. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all of you watching this video. Stay creative and push the culture. Peace.